Welcome back to another video. In this one, I'm going to show you my workflow for color correcting and color grading the talking head footage at the beginning of my YouTube videos. Now we are currently building out a new studio, so this look will eventually change, but I thought it'd be cool to break down the settings and workflows that I've been using up to this point. And right off the bat, I will say that the camera does not look like this raw. I'll show you what the raw footage looks like. It's drastically different. So that is how the footage looks like straight out of the camera. As you can see, there's almost no blue tones in it at all. It's a lot more dull, and it really is a big difference from the raw look to the final look. So let's jump into Premiere Pro and get started. All right, with Premiere Pro open, let's turn off all of these layers, except for the first one. And then in our Lumetri Color tab, we will go up and set it to our top one. That means we are working on our top layer here. Now, first off, I do want to say that when they came out with Lumetri Color, I didn't know that you could stack the effects like this. Before that, you'd use the three-way color, and of course, you could just duplicate them as many times as you want and do as much color correction or grading as you'd like. But when they came out with the Lumetri Color, it introduced this new panel window, and I thought this is as much as you could work with. I didn't realize that you could copy and paste Lumetri Color and then change them up here. So that's a good tip for you if you didn't know that. All right, with only the top layer selected, let's go into the Basic tab, and you'll see that I don't have an input LUT. The reason is the original footage was not shot in log, so I don't need to correct it from that original log look. Now at the top here, you'll notice that for the temperature, I've made it minus 36.6, so it is quite a bit towards the blue. That means it does introduce quite a lot of blue into the image. I tend to like a little more blue in the image, so that's sort of the decision behind that. And then down here in the Creative tab, you can see for the look, I've added one of our own LUTs. This is our Bright Day Blue Sky LUT. And just by the name, you can tell that this is meant for brighter days with nice blue skies. However, as you can see for this example, I am using it in an indoor scene, and I think it works pretty nicely as well, so it's pretty versatile. I have the intensity set to 100, and I haven't really changed anything else down here. So let's go back up to the Basic Correction tab. So under the tone, I've increased the exposure to 0.4, making it a little brighter. I haven't touched the contrast or the highlights, but I have increased the shadows a little bit. That sort of brightens up the darker areas. And I do boost the whites and the shadows in most clips that I work with. I think it ends up looking a little nicer. And then I did not touch the saturation and blacks. Our LUT does add a lot of saturation, so I would leave it as 0 as well if you're using it. And that's all I do on the main LUT Lumetri Color effect. Another quick note, if you right click it, you can rename them, and you can see I have done exactly that. This helps just for organization when you're editing. So moving on, the next one we have is one for fixing the lip color. So in adding our LUT and messing around with all the settings and making things more blue, the lip color changed to be a little more pinkish purple. So to make it a little more natural, I've included another Lumetri. So we'll go to the second one here. And then you can see the only thing I've added is the HSL secondary. And this is sampling only the lip color. So if we turn this on, you can see those are really the only areas that this effect will change, the second one. It is picking a bit of the beard up and bottom of the nose, but again, it's not going to really change too much there. So the idea is I've selected the lip color, I've blurred it slightly, and then I've corrected it away from that pinkish purple color, and then brought the tint a little more to the green. Pretty straightforward, so we'll go to the third one. This one is our smooth skin one. So as you can see, if you're staring at the skin, this one makes quite a big difference. So the idea is it blends a little more of the blemishes out, and I tend to get a little bit of red skin in certain areas around my face, so this sort of hides those spots and makes the skin look a little more even. And of course, in doing so, it takes a little bit of the dynamics out of the face, but I tend to like this look a little better. If you do compare it, it might seem like it's a little too harsh, but again, people only see the final look, so they don't really have anything to compare it to. So this just looks normal. So again, on this third one, I only have the HSL secondary on. And then once again, I have sampled just the face, dialed in those tones, blurred it a little bit. And then beside the color wheel, I've increased the slider to make the skin tones a little brighter and more even. And then I've also reduced the sharpen here by minus 13, just so the footage isn't as sharp on my face. This helps with blending some of the blemishes and the pores in my face to make it look like a little more, I'd say, polished. So, you know, you can go all the way up, make me look like a ghost, or you go all the way down, make it look like I got some pretty bad burns. Oh man, you get the idea. So you can try to find a sweet spot for you. If you're looking for more details on smoothing out the skin, I do have a tutorial exactly on my entire workflow for smoothing skin, so you can check that out on our channel. And my next one is add skin tone. So let's turn that on. And you can see what that does. It makes a little more orange be introduced into my skin. And the idea is you have your main LUT, you fix any major issues, you brighten and smooth out the skin, and then you bring back in some skin tone. Once again, I believe, yep, we only have the HSL secondary, dialed in the skin tone. As you can see, it's pretty much the same as before. Once again, blurring the image, and this one is once again dropping the sharpen, and then bringing up the skin tone a little more toward the orange. And then up to this point, you can see that's where we're at. And the last thing we have is the vignette. So I prefer adding a vignette and darkening the edges a bit. Again, you may not like it, but I think it's better, especially I have this wall here that sort of falls off, and there's some cables here running for that went up to the projector. So it's just nice being able to darken that, and it helps draw your eyes toward the center of frame, where I of course want you to look, because I want you to pay attention to what I'm saying, not what's in the background. So the way I do that is right in Lumetri. This comes with it. It's just a vignette, and I have it set to -1 with a midpoint of 21, roundness of 100, feather at 100. Alright, so that's pretty much how I color correct and color grade every talking head clip that I have. You know, I may use a different LUT, or I may change some settings depending on the environment, but generally speaking, I had a bunch of these to keep organization, and it allows me to turn off one or turn on another to dial in exactly what I'm going for, compare them, and it ultimately makes my life a little easier because I'm not guessing which ones I'm working on. Now, the last tip I want to share is once you have yours set up, you can simply hold Command on the Mac or Control on the PC, and then highlight them all, right click, and go to Save Preset. And then once your preset is saved, it'll end up showing up in the presets folder. And then this way, the next time you record a video in the same environment, you know, with similar lighting, you can just simply drop the preset onto your footage, and you might have to change a few things, but it's much faster than doing this all from scratch. So I would highly suggest getting used to making presets because it makes your life a lot easier. All right, I hope you found that helpful on my workflow for color correcting and color grading my talking head clips. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. And we have over 100 other filmmaking tutorials on this channel. If you're interested, check those out. Hit that subscribe button. So we upload videos pretty frequently every month. So if you want to get a notification, just turn on the notification bell as well. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you next time.